What's going on, everybody? J-How here. It is patch 2.1.2 and there are some huge changes to the Raekor set. And if you haven't been watching or paying attention to any other videos during the PTR, this is now the time to figure out what's going on. We're going to go over the skills and what it means for the build. Then we're going to cover all the changes with the gear and what you might need to know. Hit the Paragon Points, then I'll show you a little bit in action so you guys got an idea on what I'm talking about. Now, for the skills, you're going to be using Frenzy with Maniac, Call of the Ancients with the Council Rises, Furious Charge with Battering Ram, Ignore Pain with Ironhide, Wrath of the Berserker with Insanity, Battle Rage with Bloodshed, and then for your passives, Berserker Rage, Rampage, Ruthless, and Boon of Bull Kathos. Now, Frenzy with Maniac is just one of those things. It's going to be the filler in between using your Furious Charge. Now, there's not a lot of downtime with Furious Charge, except for in single target damage. Now, unfortunately, single target damage hasn't exactly been fixed. They've made some changes to make it a little bit easier, but for the most part, you're still going to be sitting there swinging slowly, doing not much damage to a single target, but there are some changes, and we'll go over those. So during your downtime, Frenzy with Maniac, and this is a fire build, so this changes it to a fire skill. Plus, you stack this up and it increases your damage for each Frenzy stack, so that goes up by 2.5% each time. The Council Rises is also a fire rune, and you're going to use this with Call of the Ancients. Now, we're going to show you a couple ways to get these guys around. You are not running Immortal Kings, so you will not have these around permanently. If you don't like this or you don't like the way this is set up, you can always go with Warcry with Impunity to be able to have a little bit stronger toughness. That's one kind of alternate route you can go there. Now, Furious Charge with Battering Ram. With the Raekor set, you're actually going to get all of the effects of Furious Charge. However, depending on what skill you choose is going to be the damage type that it's going to do in terms of fire, physical, cold, or lightning. So we're going to be doing fire because this thing does a ton of damage. 1,050% weapon damage is fire. That's huge there. Ironhide on Ignore Pain. This boosts this all the way up to 7 seconds for a 50% damage reduction, and this is huge. Now, you can certainly go a number of directions here, but Ironhide, I find, for me personally, is working much better because there's a certain item you want, and that is this, the Pride of Cassius, and you'll see in the secondary there, increase the duration of Ignore Pain, and I have a 5-second roll. This can go anywhere between 4 and 6. So now I have that up for a full 11 seconds. That is a huge booster. 12, I should say. Wrath of the Berserker with Insanity, because you're going to be trying to pump out as much damage as you possibly can with this build. You're just going to be going around trying to just destroy stuff as quickly as possible so that you can get to the inevitable grind of the Greater Rift Guardian. Now, if you are just doing T6, then you are going to find this is an amazing build to clear stuff very rapidly. Battle Rage with Bloodshed. And with Bloodshed here, critical hits cause an explosion of blood, dealing 20% of the damage done to all other enemies, all other nearby enemies. And since you're going to be hitting large mobs at a time, generally, except again for that Rift boss, you're going to be finding this to do a ton of damage. You can certainly go with something like Into the Fray to get that extra crit hit chance, or even Marauder's Rage to get the just straight damage boost there. But for now, we're going to be using Bloodshed. For your passives, Berserker Rage, you deal 25% additional damage while near Max Fury. Since you're pretty much going to be at Max Fury almost all the time with Furious Charge, this is basically a permanent 25% damage boost. Rampage, because you're going to be going through so rapidly, you should be able to, for the most part, maintain 25 stacks of this to get 25% extra damage there. And you've got a little bit of time, another 8 seconds before that's going to drop, So you have those different stacks that are going to come up there. Just a huge bonus. Ruthless. And this is going to be more for those big guys that just don't want to die quickly. You deal 40% additional damage to enemies below 30% health. And this is really going to pay off in the long run. If you're running something like T6 Rift, you can certainly go another direction there. If you need a little bit more defense, you can go Superstition, Tough of Nails, Nerves of Steel, anything. If you want more damage other places, you can go with Weapons Master. But this is generally going to be your best bet when clearing stuff. Boon of Bull Kathos. Now there's two skills on here that are very important. Call of the Ancients and Wrath of the Berserker are both reduced by 30 seconds. and that is this skill here and this skill here. So it's good to have those around. Instead of being 2 minutes, they are now a minute and a half, plus any cooldown reduction you got going. As far as the build goes, there's a couple very important pieces that you are going to need. If you have a Furnace, great. If you have a Maximus, great. If you don't have either one of those, you can certainly come up with some other options there. Those are two pretty critical ones. With the new Ancients that are going to be coming out, I'm sure we're going to be finding different stuff to replace this as far as just sheer damage. But because this has the extra elite damage on it, it does carry on quite a bit. For your Raekor set, going with gloves, chest, pants, and boots, that's going to be very important there. And we're going to use that with the Ring of Royal Grandeur so that we get the 5-piece bonus without having that 5th piece. Vile Ward, another very important piece. If you look in the secondary there, Furious Charge deals 32% increased damage for every enemy hit while charging. So if you're hitting mobs, you are going to be doing a large amount of damage. Now, there's a couple directions you can go here. We're still using a Leoric's Crown because you'll see in the secondary, increase the effect of any gem socketed into this item by 84%. We put a resource or a reduced cooldown reduction gem in here, and so this has given us a chance to be able to get our Furious Charge back around a little bit quicker. You know, there are a couple different directions you can go with this. We're going to leave this as is. There's going to be some other stuff out there that you're going to see. It probably is going to work just as good, if not better, but for just a great streamlined build that you're looking to just clear stuff and feel comfortable with, I think this is going to do the trick. Now, for the bracers, this is something you can go either way. You can use strong arm bracers because of the knockback effect. It's a little different now. So we're just kind of carrying these over. You can easily go with the Ancient Parthan Defenders. Now, I don't have these rolled properly because I haven't had a good pair drop on my Barbarian. But as you can see there, each stunned enemy within 25 yards reduces your damage taken. And this is pretty big, especially when you're clearing Greater Rifts. If you're not clearing Greater Rifts, and you find that you're living, you know, and you're surviving okay, you can probably get by with just about any bracers there. Now for an amulet, now I don't have the right amulet, a Zephyrian amulet, or the Akhenath, or however that's said. Those that reduce lightning or fire damage in there, when you're in there, that's the biggest part with the Furious Charge Barbarian. If you get into fire chains or if you get into lightning damage, there's not much you can do about it, and it's best if you don't have one of those certain amulets for that particular group. It's best to just go ahead and move on. Now, for everything else as far as your gems go, a couple gems that are good to look at. In particular, the Bane of the Trapped is also very good. I have my good ones on another character. I threw this in here for now because we were looking from our stash. That's a good thing to have in there. Pain Enhancer is another great one. Same for the Mirene Teardrop here, to be able to smite stuff, to be able to do different stuff going on there. Those are all three really good gems. If you do like the Gogok because you get the extra cooldown reduction, that's another way to go, especially if you're hitting stuff rapidly. That's a good way to get your Call of the Ancients and your Wrath of the Berserker back a little quicker. So a couple options you can go with there. As far as your Paragon Points go, max your movement speed out in conjunction with your gear. We need to refine this because we actually have some on our boots. The rest can go into strength there. Offensively, cooldown reduction is very important because you want to get those Furious Charges going as much as possible. Crit hit damage and then crit hit chance. For your defense, resist all, and you can go with armor next, and I am using life regen, although you can certainly go with life. Utility, now there's not going to be any resource cost here, so we can actually mix this up. There's going to be basically nothing that we're going to be using, or you can get some gold there, whatever you want to do. So that's the skills, that is the gear, and again, there are a couple other options out there. We're going with one that we know is going to be a surefire way to work. Having a unity and one on your follower is extremely important when you are playing solo. If you're not playing solo, you might not want to use it. But those are the items that you're going to be looking for. Now, we'll show you real quick as far as how this is going to work. Like I said, there's not going to be any more knockback. We're just going to do this on T6. We don't have any Greater Rift gameplay just yet. But we'll go ahead and skip on through here. And as you can see, there's no more pulling enemies around. We'll go ahead and let those things explode. And that's it. We popped the Wrath of the Berserker. I thought we hit that, but as you can see, you can just waltz on through a T6 and have all the fun you want and just blow stuff up. You can pretty much just skip through an entire map as a barbarian. As you can see, it no longer pulls stuff. That was a very long reach there. You saw that we didn't pull it, but because we have all the effects of Furious Charge, we're getting our Furious Charge back to basically give us a full-on continuous Furious Charge. So as you can see, the gameplay is a little bit different. When you get to the greater Rift bosses and stuff, you're going to see a lot of changes there. So keep that in mind, that you're going to see a few things, and I know we needed to cover, we'll go ahead and pop Ignore Pain on there real quick. And we're just going to try and hit as many things as we can. So that's a really quick way of doing it. But like I said, the Raekor's changes. For the 2-piece bonus, the first enemy hit takes 100% additional damage. Now that's pretty big because that helps the single target a little bit. For the 4-piece, again, you get every rune effect there. And for the 5-piece bonus, enemies hit by your Furious Charge take 3,000% weapon damage over 3 seconds. And that's where the Pain Enhancer can really come in. So there's a lot of stuff going on as far as changes to the builds. There's going to be a lot more stuff that's going to be coming up with the Barbarian, with a lot of classes out there. So if you're looking for more build videos that are going to be coming, feel free to subscribe. We're going to be doing a lot for all the different builds. We did a lot of testing on the PTR all the way around with all the classes. So hopefully we'll be able to bring you guys some solid stuff that will work for you. And hey, here's a treasure goblin. See what this guy's like nowadays. No rift for us, no special treasure goblins that are now included in 2.1.2, but we'll be on the lookout for those. So again, we'll be bringing you those videos as well, so feel free to stick around. If this build did help you and you like what you saw, feel free to hit that like button below. That would be greatly appreciated as always. And we're going to, like I said, we're going to be doing more builds, so if you want to stick around for those, feel free to subscribe and take a look around. As always, guys, happy hunting. Thanks for watching.